Imagine you fancy a luxury SUV, but your wife works for Greenpeace. And while the versatility of an MPV would be useful, you haven't quite given up on life just yet. Well, fret not. BMW thinks it has the answer with the new 5 Series Gran Turismo. Apparently, it's a whole new type of car.
Normally with the BMW, I do the driving bit first, but seeing as this car is so new, so different and, well, so totally unique, I thought I'd do this review in reverse.
So, let's kick off at the back with the boot. It's a two-piece design, which means you can open it like a saloon or like a hatchback. Yes, I know you can do this on the Skoda Superb, but somehow BMW claim they thought of it first. Anyway, what the Skoda doesn't have though is electrically folding rear seats, nor does it have a special rear divider to stop the smell of all your dirty holiday washing stinking out the cabin. And you can certainly carry a lot of luggage in the 5 GT, as with the seats folded there's 1700 litres of space. In case you're wondering, that's the same capacity as all these bottles put together. So then, the 5 GT has a clever boot, but what about the rest of the cabin? The raised ride height means you don't have to step up or stoop down to get in. And once seated, there's as much headroom as in an X5 thanks to the concave indents in the roof lining. And there's as much legroom as in a 7 Series if you slide the chairs all the way back. You can even recline them for the full business class experience. And that's not all. A panoramic sunroof and leather trim come as standard, and all this means the 5 GT is very luxurious. It's just a shame BMW decided to make the top of the dash and door trims out of recycled prosthetic limbs. That's not good on a car that will start from around 48 grand. Anyway, that's enough about the interior. After all, BMW's tagline is sheer driving pleasure, not sheer cabin pleasure. So now, at last, it's time to hit the road.
It's probably going to be safer if I don't do the driving bit in reverse.
This car has a 3-litre turbo petrol engine with 306 horsepower. That's good for 0 to 62 miles an hour in 6.4 seconds and 32 mpg, although obviously not at the same time. A 3-litre diesel is available too, that's almost as fast but much more economical. And both engines come as standard with a new 7-speed auto gearbox that's really smooth.
So's the ride. I mean, it's loads more compliant than a normal BMW saloon. Maybe that's got something to do with the lofty seating position, which is like halfway between a 5 Series and an X5.
BMW call this raised driving position semi-command. But does this affect the driving dynamics, or is the 5 GT's handling still hot enough to command a semi?
No. This car feels a bit like driving around in a big fluffy cloud. I mean, you can put it into a sports mode which firms up the dampers, but even then there can be no hiding the car's weight. And I have to say that because of the lofty ride height, it doesn't feel as sporty to drive as a 7 Series.
And now we've come to the end of the review, or should I say the beginning. Oh God, it's all getting a little bit confusing. But then so is the 5 Series Gran Turismo. It definitely does offer something new. But it's not just the design and packaging that's different. So is the fact that it's the first BMW that I can remember that's actually better to be driven in than to drive yourself. But while this might seem a bit back to front, it's not necessarily a bad thing.